Hello and welcome to the TFITS podcast. My name is Mac Rowe. I'll be one of your hosts this evening. I'm joined, as always, by my friend, sitting to my right. How's it going tonight?
I am fantastic. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
All right.
Thank you for joining me here in this basement. I think...
Always a pleasure.
I think, there's been a lot going on since last time we talked.
Absolutely. The world's a crazy place.
Yeah. It just keeps getting crazier. Every time I think we've hit maximum craziness, somebody proves me wrong.
Don't get used to it. I mean, expect the unexpected.
Right. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, all that.
Hope for the worst.
Before we get into all that, my friend, I think I'm feeling kind of thirsty.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we should jump right in to the beverage segment.
Oh, absolutely. I'm good with you on that one.
I've grabbed a couple randos out of the fridge this week. I have no idea how they got here. We accumulate things here in this basement. Interdimensional travelers, cryptoids. We had Bigfoot in here last week. Or maybe he might have brought that IPA. I don't know.
No way. Sasquatch the Yeti does not like this IPA. He would be with that cider.
You think the cider? Yeah. He's more of a cider guy.
Oh, he's absolutely a cider guy.
All right. Well, what do we got going on here?
I jumped to this just because I like the cover art. I'm a big doggo fan.
Oh, so you and Sasquatch brought that over?
No.
I didn't know you were hanging out with Sasquatch that night.
Well, it might have been. I wasn't here for that. But
okay, so he brought the cider, I guess.
He did. I didn't bring either of these. Neither of these are mine, but I picked this up off the table because it's a dog playing a tuba. I mean, can't. Yeah, absolutely. You got your eyes on.
Right. High wire, low pitch, juicy IPA. It's juicy.
Mm-hmm.
Thirst quenching, easy drinking IPA packs a bright citrus hop punch. Juicy American hops and a light malt bill make low pitch the perfect pairing for sandy shores, mountaintops, or your bestie's birthday party.
Ooh, a bestie's birthday party.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
I do have a birthday coming up very soon, so
happy very early birthday.
Yeah, we'll take this celebratory moment to allow me to bask in my own glory.
And I'm figuring out how I want to crack this because there's nice art on this lid you might want to keep.
It's all good. We do have some nice bottle caps up there. I saved that striped one over there.
All right. Let's get a good pour on this.
Oh, this guy's like walking a tightrope. It is called High Wire. High Wire Brewery. Is that the brewery? And the drink is the juicy IPA. Oh, yeah, it sounds nice. I can hear that all the way over here. Wow.
Decent head.
Yeah.
Little lacing.
Yep. It's
good color.
Really good color. It's kind of a milky.
Oh, that's not even milky at all. That's cloudy.
Sure.
Well, once you get the bubbles out of it, that'll clear up a lot. There'll be a lot more clarity to it.
Yeah, it's starting to settle a little bit.
But it's holding a head real well.
Yeah.
I gave it a decent hard pour at the end. Because we're having it, so I wanted to see how well it did, but wow.
Mm-hmm. We're not using the appropriate glassware or anything either.
No, but it still works just the same. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have even done that. Your lips would have did that.
Right.
Mm.
Oh, that's nice.
That is. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's very hoppy for sure.
It's
mouthfeel.
It's got a smooth hops. I don't think usually IPAs have way too many hops for me, but this is
definitely not as bitter for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't have the bitterness, the juicy, whatever, the apricots, is that what they said?
I totally absolutely forgot. Like
notes
I
of
got lost in
apricot.
that, but yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. I'm actually getting a lot of pine off of it. Even
Sure. Yeah, I could taste that, like licking a pine floor right after somebody mopped it with pine sol.
I say it's on the lower on the alcohol percentage. It's 4.9, so that would also be kind of accountable for you can hold the flavor back.
Sure, it makes it a little more drinkable. All right,
easier on your palate.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll go ahead and crack this other one here.
All right, what's that?
This is the Crispin Blackberry Pear. That's a weird font. Hard cider made from fresh pressed American pears. Orchard to bottle, 5% alcohol by volume. So both of these are a little on the low end for our adventurous palates, but it's good. It's been a rough couple of weeks. I don't know what order these podcasts will be coming out in, so it's
I do.
hard to discuss topical events, but I think that everybody's had a rough couple of weeks here in the U.S.
Absolutely. Worldwide. I mean, there's been lots going on that we haven't heard in the U.S. Thank you, my friend.
Yes. Cheers. All right.
That smells good. It smells really good.
Oh, yeah. Definitely lives up to the name. It's crisp blackberry pear. I mean, it's got like I taste the blackberries more in the
front notes.
Finish. Well,
really? I got it in the
I'm
front
getting,
notes.
Yeah, I guess it is blending into the pear as a finisher, but I guess there was some blackberry throughout. But yeah, I definitely taste the pear. Elegant and refreshing with a ripe pearberry bouquet, subtle blackberry tang, and juicy complexity.
Oh, I love me some blackberry
That was the name
tang.
of my funk band in high school, by the way, Juicy Complexity.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we played like 3 shows, mostly in the gym of the high school, and then we broke up, but...
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Juicy Complexity.
You can get the band back together now. You've got a hard cider.
Oh man, yeah, I did add a few names to the old band list this week, and I think Juicy Complexity is going to be on there as well, maybe as a song title.
I came up with a band name that I love that nobody's allowed to steal because I've already copyrighted it.
Oh, okay.
And if you're hearing it, there's the official copyright notice.
Right,
but
when we release this, whenever that is.
But the band name, I love it, is Serotonin and the Dopamines.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So you have the band and, they're the amines. Like, what's your name? I'm Amin. I'm Amin. My name is Amin. We're all dope or fly, fresh. The dopamines. But then, their front person is serotonin. Thought that was great.
Yeah, no, that is great. I think serotonin is a great name for anything, like a character or...
I was gonna say, it's a lot more carbonated than I thought it would be. The cider is holding more carbonation than the high wire, which head has now completely dissolved pretty much. It's gone. It's holding a lace really well high up on the glass, which is pleasant to see. It's always beautiful to see bubbles.
Yeah, I'm enjoying both of them. Weird random beer drawer pulls. Good ones tonight.
Absolutely. Recommended them for everyone to try at least once.
So what are we talking about tonight? I didn't
pick up where we left off. We were talking about...
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually...
Last week was...
To be correct, this is the first part for the second part, of the one part that we've already done that you've listened to, that you haven't listened to yet, that you're going to listen to now, but you've already done. But you're going to listen to it now because you've already downloaded it, so we're ready to go. But the topic again...
And thank you for downloading it. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is the first part to the second part, which we're going to release, is... Hangar 18. We were talking about it. We had
so last week we started talking about Area 51, actually, in the Area 51 raid that was recently announced on social media, and like 1 million, I think it was up to almost 2 million people signed up to pledge themselves to go to this raid on Area 51. And, we discussed the ins and outs of
the logistics and why it's not going to happen.
Yeah, well,
what's happened when other people have.
Sure, we talked a little bit about government handling of these things, and so this week we thought that we'd finish up.
Yeah, we'd revisit. We didn't. I felt there was more to that conversation that we didn't get into, specifically with Wright Patterson Air Force Base.
Right,
the kind of history.
I think we had a cliffhanger on the break last week.
We did.
Did we ever resolve it? I think it was it Hangar 18? Or did we leave the cliffhanger at the end of the... No, it was on the break. Okay, so yeah. So we wanted to touch this week. We did talk a little bit about Area 51. We talked about Roswell last week. And the fact that, not the fact, but the rumor that the bodies weren't in Area 51. They were actually brought to Hangar 18, which is at Wright Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio.
And I would like to disagree with that. I don't think it was the bodies. I think they took the bodies somewhere else. I think they took the technology to Hangar 18 at Wright Patterson Air Force Base.
Okay.
And I say this because Wright Patterson Air Force Base, if you can go in and research a little bit on it,
let me bring it up here.
Was originally 2 separate bases or separate fields that were kind of combined into the one. They were bought up by the government in the early 40s. They turned it into Wright Pat, which was the Wright Field and Patterson Fields. Those
Yeah.
were the two separate areas. One was more housing, whatever. But my point to this is that area had been known during World War II as being where they would send foreign technology to be reverse engineered, rebuilt, understood,
Oh,
built
yeah.
again,
Okay, I've
and
heard
then
about
tested.
this. Yeah, so this was a facility that during, actually, there was a base there as far back as World War One, November
Correct.
1917. The McCook Field was established there, according to the internet here, and so I have heard that it was used during the wars to store captured enemy aircraft. It's far enough into the continental part of the United States that it's sort of safe from coastal attack or raids or anything. And
At the time, it was, yeah.
yeah, and they have just Dayton's location as a crossroads. They could bring in scientists to disassemble these foreign craft. I guess I'm guessing German planes maybe during World War II.
That's exactly what it was. During World War II, they brought in a Japanese plane and a German plane, reverse engineered them, and then fired them up.
Yeah.
It was
So the Germans had the
yeah.
jet engine first, if I recall, right? And then
Yeah, it was the German. They brought in the. It was during the Robot Blitz. An entire V1 flying bomb was reverse engineered.
Okay.
And then test fired. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So they were actually shooting off munitions and stuff in this area. That's
and
it's actually like, I guess back then maybe it wasn't in Dayton as much as it is in modern times, where there's literally restaurants built up along the perimeter of the fence of the base and everything. I guess a lot of the base is visible from outside of the base. You can drive by it, so it's not like Area 51 in that if you get close to it, you're threatened. You definitely can't enter, but there is a large civilian workforce on the base. A lot of them have to have security clearance.
Yeah.
There's security gates all around it, but there's not a lot of visual, evidence of any of this research going on these days that I've heard of.
Well, that being said, you wouldn't see it. It necessarily wouldn't be above ground. It would be
right.
underground.
So how much of this base is actually below the ground, and maybe
how much are they connected?
I wonder if they picked that spot to begin with in World War One.
It's very
1917, just because of the fact that the area has suitable bedrock for like a deep underground base or something. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, that being said, they do test a lot of these there. So, like in the early 40s, they got these aircraft and these technologies, reconstructed them, deconstructed them, rebuilt them, tested them off, and were able to understand how they worked and then applied it to their own way. So now you have to think, if there is some sort of alien, and I'm not even saying it's necessarily alien at this point in time,
right?
And I'll say it could be here in a minute. I'll tell you why. But they're going to take that and send it to where they already have protocols established and technologies established to do exactly what they need to do with the alien aircraft, to deconstruct it, to understand it, and put it to use in your own ways.
Right.
So there's no better place to do that. And so that Wright Patterson would be a great place to send it to. And the reason I think that they did do that is some of the technology that has come out of Wright Patterson after the fact. Yeah.
So, I mean, I have been around this area. You've been around this area.
Yes.
And we're familiar with this base. I've been on the base myself. There is a commissary store, and I remember rolling up there with a friend who's had family stationed on there, and they would let us through the gate. He would show the commissary badge, and then we could go in and buy stuff. I guess there was lower taxes or something on it because it was a military base. I don't know how that
lower
works.
Prices and
lower
taxes,
prices, yeah. So some sort of subsidized price going on at the stores, so we could get cheaper cigarettes and liquor and all that kind of stuff on the base. So that was sort of a
incentive to go there.
Yeah, exactly. We would find somebody that could get us in, and then go to the commissary store there. But there I do remember seeing the SR-71 Blackbird fly into Wright Pat when it was revealed in what was that, the 80s.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the space shuttle being flown into Wright Pat Air Force Base. Correct. On the back of a sort of big ass Boeing plane,
gigantic plane. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of tech that was either maybe reverse engineered or maybe stored. Say they want to fly some secret plane from out west to out east at nighttime, and they get maybe halfway there and they need to stop someplace and literally hide the plane out of sight for the night. Maybe that's a convenient place to do that.
The valley is definitely a good place to do that.
Yeah. So it could have been chosen for that strategic area, and supposedly the rumor goes that after the Roswell incident, as my friend here was telling us, maybe the aliens didn't go there, the bodies didn't go there, but the craft itself did, and perhaps was reverse engineered at Wright Patterson Airfield.
And the reason I believe that it did is because the government then put out some studies that were based out of Wright Patterson, specifically Project Sign, which later turned into Project Grudge, and Project Blue Book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know Project Blue Book.
Yes, it was based out of Wright Patterson Air Force Base.
Wow. So maybe if they did find something, that's definitely where it would have went as far as...
I think it would have because, they did the testing, the engineering in, 43, 44, whatever it was.
Sure.
And then the aircraft landed in 47, supposedly, and it was sent to Wright Patterson. And then these government projects are then funded and made not necessarily public, but official in 1949. That's 2 years after the crash. And so just to have the UFO studies specifically based out of Wright Patterson Air Force Base, where this Hangar 18 supposedly existed, where this technology was supposedly sent, that makes a lot of sense looking back on it. Like the dots connect that way, for me anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, that's right over there in my big book of conspiracies on the shelf. That's the way it could have went down with the Roswell crash. There was actually there's always this buzz about Project Mogul, which was a top secret project by the U.S. Army involving microphones flown on high altitude balloons to detect the sound of Soviet atomic bombs in the late 40s. So in the 90s, and a lot of UFO researchers will call this a false flag or something, or just misinformation. There were documents released under the FOIA that indicated that that's what came down in Roswell that day, that it was a weather balloon, and it was pieces of some sort of research, and that the PR office of the Air Force in that area at the time, some guy just made something up about a UFO, and so the papers ran with it the next day, and then his boss, was immediately like, "What, are you crazy? You can't tell people
it was
flying
UFOs,
saucers. Like, make something else up, you idiot." So, a lot of people say that's been debunked, the Roswell, but there are other crashes and there are other instances of either enemy planes, such as you're saying, or unidentified objects in general, maybe being taken to Wright Patterson Air Force Base for reverse engineering or inspection or some sort of malfeasance. And I guess there's probably a lot of underground areas of that base that...
exactly, because if you go and look at the history of it, it's kind of older. There's a lot of, open area for there to be that many people working in such a small area, and there just be nowhere for them to be. There's going to be... Yeah,
when you think about it, there is a lot of open area on that base, and there's a lot of... there's a few buildings, but...
it's also separated. Like, these bases are, in some parts, several miles apart.
Right.
So, like, technically, like, I think one part is in Dayton and another part is in Fairborn. I mean, so the logistics of it is entirely huge. And then there's a whole other area. So, like, Wright Patterson has 3 parts: Area A, B, and C.
Yeah,
Area
you see
A
those
was,
on the exits when you drive past. It'll say, exit for Area A or Area B.
But you don't have access to Area C.
Right.
There is one way you can see a side entrance through a gate, but that's a whole other story. But Area A was Patterson Field, and then Area B was Wright Field. And Area C was part of the, I forget where it is now, part of the Patterson Field as well, but that's where they did all the test flights, but it's further on than one part.
Gotcha. Well, it is coming up on time for a word for our sponsors, so we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the TFITS podcast.
It was an amazing ad.
Yeah, you should definitely buy whatever that was.
That was great.
Buy 2, as a matter of
3 or
fact,
4.
in case one breaks down, because we have had some incidents. So I thought we would start off, since we've called this series Area 51 / Hangar 18, by actually talking about Area 51.
No.
I think last week... No. Yeah, no, I checked. Last week
they shut us down, remember?
Well, is that what happened?
The black suits with the big guns.
Oh. No, maybe they memory wiped me because I don't remember that. But I know last week we did touch on the, something that I want to cover in the future in more depth, the Fermi paradox. We touched on, life on other planets in general, whether or not it would visit us, and whether the government would cover it up if it actually did. So, we did touch on Wright Pat Air Force Base, which was supposedly the home of Hangar 18. So now I wanted to get into actually the place that everyone is supposedly raiding in September now?
Yeah, so they keep pushing it back.
They push the date back again?
Later, yeah.
First, it was August, which I was like, nobody's going to go in the middle of the Nevada desert in August. That would be stupid.
Burning Man.
That's not in August, is
I
it?
don't know.
I think
that'd be funny.
I think it's in the fall when it cools down. I don't know. And either way, it's cold in the desert at night, But yeah, I know. Never mind. We'll touch on that later. But Area 51 is the common name of a highly classified United States Air Force or USAF facility located within the Nevada Test and Training Range. Officially, the facility is called Homey Airport, which has a designation of KXTA or Groom Lake, which I've heard it referred to, which is that salt flat out there in the desert where they can test all kinds of missiles and, crazy planes and fun shit like that.
Yeah.
So, this is all right off the internet, so this is commonly available knowledge now. So if they're letting us know, it says here the CIA publicly acknowledged the existence of the base for the first time on the 25th of June, 2013, following a FOIA request filed in 2005. And they declassified documents detailing the history and purpose of Area 51.
And what do they garner from that information?
Yeah, no, all this is available on theblackvault.com. I've talked about this website before. So this guy collects FOIA request stuff. He's like, that's all he does all the time is makes FOIA requests. I think he was involved in this 2005 FOIA request, and then the stuff that was released in 2013, which of course they never admitted the alien part, but there is a lot of the U2 program was there, the Oxcart program, D21, F-117. I'm sure the what's the modern one now, the F-35.
Yeah.
That crazy plane
Raptor,
that costs like $1 trillion to develop, and now they fall out of the sky when it rains. Yeah, I won't get into the bloated bureaucracy of military government. So that's a different podcast.
And it will be. It will be as well.
Absolutely. So are people going to get in here? What do you think?
Oh yeah, they absolutely will be.
I will say I didn't know what a Naruto run was until this week. So.
Good for you.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Have you seen one in person then?
Well, no, I saw a really cool meme of like an alien in a cage and a bunch of people Naruto running past these fences. Did you see this?
No,
it was on Reddit. Yeah, I should have. Maybe we'll put it up on the website.
Oh, and by the way, we do have a Reddit now. It's
okay.
It's a TFITS _ because somebody has stolen our name.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't go for podcasts. It's just TFITS.
We were able to just get TFITS. I mean, we got it. So TFITS _
Okay.
We didn't go for the T podcast. It's too long. Make it simple. Easier for people to write out.
We don't want you folks to do too much work out there.
No strenuous activities.
You should have the
fingers.
easiest access to whatever the fuck we're talking about every week.
I know. I don't want you to have arthritis in your fingers because, I mean, the fuck is that shit?
What the fuck is that shit? So what else do we got? We've got a we can do all this at the end.
Yeah, we'll do it at the end.
We'll make a segment now at the end.
It was natural because it was there, so I threw it in.
Yeah, no, that's great. I didn't even know about it until just now, and I'm assuming we have other social media.
We do have more. We have some more
you'll have to stay tuned until the end of this episode to find out. So anyway, yeah, I found out what a Naruto run is this week. So do you think people are going to be able to Naruto run into Area 51?
Absolutely not. They will get shut the fuck down. They will be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be insensitive. I could have made a couple of really insensitive jokes there, but I won't in good taste. No, but they could have been dropped. And they will be dropped.
Well, supposedly this Naruto run, you can't be hit by bullets. Is this true? Or
I've never Naruto run it, so I can't confirm or deny.
Huh. It looked pretty convincing.
It absolutely is. But I will say, to get, back into the topic a little bit, by the time Project Blue Book ended, they had, some 13,000 reports of UFOs.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they still said that, what was it, something like 3,000, 7,000, I forget what the exact number was, couldn't be determined. But they still made the claim that even though they couldn't be determined, that they were probably not of extraterrestrial means. Sure,
they've been able to explain, whatever, 70, 80% of these incidents, supposedly. Again, a lot of that Blue Book stuff that's been able to be released through FOIA reports, it's heavily redacted. I've looked at some of it myself, so but you can find a lot of that stuff online. It's there's not a lot there, but of course, what about the 10 to 20% that they can't explain? The Phoenix Lights was a big example. Moscow had some UFOs in the 80s that were unexplained. So there definitely could be aliens visiting us. I don't. If you've ever seen a UFO or or had ever been anal probed by an alien,
even if you're not,
hit us up on
let us know.
tfitspodcast@gmail.com, or now our Reddit, r/tfits_. Let us know where the alien touched you,
and we will draw it on a map or a diagram for you to see.
Yeah, that would be even better. You can do artwork on Reddit, can you? No?
Yeah, I believe you can.
You can link stuff.
Yeah, you can link stuff there.
Yeah, so link us your depiction of where the alien touched your butthole.
Deep in your butthole.
Right. So what do you think? What do you think they were test flying alien stuff out at Area 51?
If we're going the alien route, I think an alien craft technology crashed there. The biolife was taken someplace else. The technology was taken to...
Where'd they take the bodies, man?
Well, where would have been the major medical facility at the time? And is the body alive? Where's the closest?
Right.
If the body's dead,
some of the stories say that there were 2 dead and 1 alive or something like that. I remember reading that. So I don't know. They're like the Mayo Clinic. I don't know. I'm not a hospital guy. I don't know.
Yeah, neither am I. So that's going to be the 2 main guesses for that.
If you know where they took the bodies,
call in and let us know.
Yeah, shoot us an email at tfitspodcast@gmail.com, or check out our Reddit.
Our username is Reddit is tfits_.
Yeah,
somebody stole TFITS, and if you are the person who has TFITS, please let us know. We will
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. He's going to listen to us.
I think it's an algorithm, is what I think it is. I think somebody set an algorithm loose on Reddit and just claimed up a bunch of random unused subreddits to use for instances just like this, where they could charge somebody money for the name.
But
if you DM them, they'll be like, oh, they got some email that flags it,
You can have it for $50,000 because I see you're making a podcast and you got 2 followers.
That's sweet podcast money.
Yeah. No, but if we're going non-alien technology and we keep it, just towards, alien to our country, where it could have been at the time, Japanese or Germans who were doing lots of things. They could have come in from the north or from the south, and New Mexico would have been a place for them to get shot down, crash, whatever, to take that technology and send it to someplace else to have it, backlogged and reviewed, because they've been known to mimic other ships and go out as a destroyer, painted as another destroyer, and then sink. But they failed on the first attempt because they ran into that ship that they were decoyed as.
Oh yeah,
but yeah. So that failed on their part, but it would have been successful otherwise. But there's been a lot more. So I mean, the amount of technology that's come out of Dayton, Ohio, specifically, even after the 1940s.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. So I wonder how much of that was a result of them bringing scientists and engineers here in World War I and World War II, and then afterwards Dayton having all these inventors and everything in the area. But I guess all that was the Wright brothers in the late 1800s, early 1900s. You had who was the pop tab guy? That was what 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
So that would have been between World War I and II. So yeah, he could have been here because of the base for some reason, and then went on to invent a pretty awesome invention that allows us to crack open beers or sodas or what have you,
and save the
ciders.
pressure
Hell,
inside.
even wine these days.
Exactly.
Crack open a can of wine. Imagine that.
You'll hear about that in a later
What's the world coming to? What the fuck is this shit?
What the fuck is this shit?
So just even clicking around on the internet, it's crazy what you can find out of these FOIA requests. I'm looking at a top secret document from 1959 that's a layout of Area 51. The field elevation of off sea level is already 4,400 feet. It looks like you got a really big runway. It's like 5,500 feet. You got some short runways here.
I'm hoping you can link a picture. Because
we could throw this up on the website or
for the time that length of runway is quite long for something that they would need.
Sure,
unless you're going really fast.
Right.
If you're going really fast, you need a lot of space.
Oh yeah, well they got this static test area, and there's a couple different elevations of the runway, but this first segment is almost 9,000 feet, so that's almost 2 miles. So they could testing airplanes and stuff like that out there. They got plenty of room to do it, and there's a mountain range around it. Looks a little topographical there, but yeah, it's pretty interesting that we can look at these. It says top secret Oxcart, Project Oxcart right there in the corner.
Yeah. Well, I also like just an interesting fact for the time, starting what was it, the 50s, the institute that was used in Project Blue Book accounted for about 30 characteristics into the IBM punch cards for the computer analysis.
Okay. Oh yeah, punch cards. Yeah, I remember those old. There was even some places that still use punch card technology. When I was very young, I remember going to places where you would use punch cards, and
so the amount that it actually, was necessary,
right,
and the amount that it accounted for, and the amount of characteristics that it put into it was something that I found interesting.
Yeah. Area 51 was used for all these different testing programs that led to planes like the SR-71 Blackbird, which we were able to see at Wright Pat, but was developed in the late 50s, early 60s out at Groom Lake, where they test flew it. So they also deconstructed Russian MiG fighters in the, what was that? Would they have had the MiGs by the late 60s? I don't know if they were MiGs yet then, but that led to some other developments. We basically stole some stuff from the Russians there. So Area 51 was very secret for a reason.
Still is for a reason.
Yeah, it was called the Have Blue program, which turned into the Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk, which is the stealth fighter, that kind of chunky boomerang-looking fighter that you see that's able to fly, completely undetected by radar, which is pretty crazy. They could have tested,
They absolutely
just like Hangar 18 or Wright Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio would have been where they would have deconstructed the Russian MiG fighter. That technology would have then been applied and tested at Area 51. So,
or even right there at Hangar 18 itself. Because I admit I've seen some strange things flying overhead.
I have seen what I could definitely call an unidentified flying object around this area near Wright Patterson Air Force Base. So that could definitely be them testing those sort of things.
By the way, if you get a chance, anybody's listening, go to Wright Patterson Air Force Base.
There's actually a museum.
You don't need to storm the gates. You don't need to. You can walk right on.
Yeah, all those people that are going to go storm Area 51, first take a plane to Dayton, Ohio, and visit the museum at the Wright Patterson Air Force Base. You could actually see.
It's free.
I think they have. Is it free?
It is free.
I did not realize that.
They have some
we
parts that
give
are paid
the military
for.
enough fucking money, so it should be free.
Yeah.
I can't tell them that much, but
yeah.
So I think I don't know. I haven't been there in a while, but I think do they have an SR-71 Blackbird on display or no?
I don't believe. Well, actually, I believe they might have one on display.
I know that they used to have one of the Apollo
capsules in the
capsules that you could actually go inside. I don't know if you can still go inside them anymore.
Yeah,
but
they have several planes you can actually walk in and walk through.
Nice.
Lots of you can get into the cockpits.
I remember as a child walking inside of one of the capsules that was actually used in the Apollo program, which is pretty crazy. So check that out before you go storm the gates of Area 51. Let us know, tfitspodcast@gmail.com. If you make it in there, send us an email. Tweet at us. I think you can tweet at us now.
We have a Twitter.
Do we have all these social media things that we can share with people?
We do have social media.
I think we should tell them how to get a hold of us, because I really want to know if you raid Area 51, what do you find? Do you find aliens? Did you find spacecraft? Did your Naruto run allow you to dodge bullets? Because I would definitely want to learn that if that's the case. That might come in handy in the near future. So
it absolutely would be. But like our Twitter handle, I'll just get into it, is
tell us how to get a hold of the show.
TFITS3. I kept it simple because Twitter, I don't want you to type too much out when you're trying to get into it. I was going to use podcast, but I just figured TFITS3 would be simplest there.
Yeah,
so
nice.
We're at Twitter at TFITS3.
So is it like TFITS podcast at TFITS3?
No, just TFITS3 at TFITS3.
You can put something in front of that though, right? TFITS at TFITS3.
Oh, then we're TFITS podcast because that's what I would have labeled it as. We are also on Instagram.
Oh, okay. So we got Twitter, TFITS3 at TFITS3 on Twitter. At what on Instagram?
Up now.
TFITSpodcast@gmail.com. We got r/TFITS_
or
Reddit.com.
u/.
Oh, that's our username?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so we haven't made a
correct.
subreddit yet. We just have, we're a user, so you can talk to us or send us messages.
Yeah, Instagram is TFITS Podcast.
Instagram?
Correct.
At TFITS Podcast?
Correct.
That's great. That's great. I think we're on the book face as well.
We are.
My book. What's it called?
Yes, my book face.
Yeah.
With the Zuckers and the birds and
books.
Zuckers.
I don't mess with any of that these days, but if you're on there, come check it out. Maybe we'll have one of our interns, one of our slaves, post some of the stuff that we talk about here on the podcast. Send us a message, and you have anything to add, my friend, before we cut out this week?
To have a great night. Believe in aliens. Don't trust your government. And fuck Trump.
Fuck Trump. The truth is out there, ladies and gentlemen. Try to find it. Tune in next week for the TFITS podcast. Good night.